Hey guys. Okay, so in this video I want to go over some updates to the crit armor stacker build. This is by no means the kind of finished version, but I think I found something that or a setup that I like quite a bit. So we'll go over that today. I'll do some showcases on the build, and it's probably not going to be the final version, but for now, this change has been pretty big. It's a pretty big change to the build. We're using some kind of like pretty old tech that pretty much no one really uses anymore. But anyways, we'll go into that in a bit. But first of all, let's go run some maps so you can kind of see what the build performs like. Okay, so this one is Plague Ward City Square. This one is pretty hard. It's a 5-minute timer map with 10% less damage per item. It's got 100% Delirious and Union Souls. So the one of the tankiest 3 combo, and then also does have the petrification, which is kind of easy to solve. It's just a little bit annoying for Scion. We have to use a balance of terror with temp chains pretty much. And then it also does have the light radius mod. Now the light radius mod doesn't really seem like that much, but it is very annoying, and it is actually quite a big DPS loss, especially when there's mobs that kite you, and City Square can be full of those. Hopefully we get a good breach. If you get a breach, it can actually like basically remove half the map. I mean, if you get a good one, right? And it seems like we don't really have that many annoying type of mobs yet, so it's kind of nice. There's a lot of these monsters that will kind of just like kite you and that kind of stuff. Okay, so we gotta make sure that we don't spend too much time killing these like delirium mobs, because we don't need to kill them and they're just gonna waste our time, because usually they are pretty tanky. I mean, it is pretty hard to see, and I don't know what's going on, but you can see I think my MTX is kind of bugging out. But yeah, you can see some of these mobs, they like kite you, right? Alright. So I'm actually using 2 curses. I'll kind of get into the setup that I'm running for this specific map, but temp chains, we need to run temp chains because of the balance of terror, right? But then since most like the tankiest mobs in the map are going to be like the magic mobs, I actually run a conductivity as well. So it's a little bit weird, but kind of ends up working out for the most part. Oh shit. And I forgot to cast temp chains. Okay, actually not that bad, because we can just go run down this way and clear this side next. So maybe it actually did end up saving us a little bit of time, because we didn't need to even kill what's his name, Kosis down there. Okay, just need to remember to cast temp chains, otherwise we just get petrified and probably die. Let's go kill the boss. I think we can get him without, yeah. Okay, so pretty easy. We'll skip those guys, and hopefully we have a big breach here. Doesn't look like we are going to have one though. But we are actually really fast for some reason. Okay, what is going on? Why are we so fast? Oh, and it's this breach. Okay, so it's the actual normal breach, so we don't get any kind of mob skip. Alright. So these are deli mobs, I'm pretty sure, so you can probably skip them. There's a shrine. Maybe we get a good shrine. Okay, so kill these guys. These are also deli mobs, I think. We just killed the flame sentinel. Kill the spiders, and then yeah, I want to get the shrine. So let's go over there. Alright, let's see, what do we get? Oh, it's chilling shrine, okay. Oh shit. And I thought I got petrified again, but I think we're okay. Alright, things are looking pretty good so far. These guys like to kite, so... Alright, let's go up here. This might be a rare monster we're missing. Oh, there we go. Okay. Definitely wasn't close at all. Actually, that's pretty fast. 4 minutes without any kind of skip. Alright, let's see what we got. And it's a pretty mid-roll. Alright, so let's go over the build, what changes we made. As you can see, Plague Ward City Square in 4 minutes without any breach skip is pretty insane. Before this, on the previous setup, I was averaging like 5 minutes. Sometimes like 4 minutes, 50 seconds with the breach skip. Damage has definitely gone up quite a bit, and the main reason is we're using some pretty old tech. We're basically going for the Lethal Pride into the Transcendent Flesh combo. So this used to be used all the time back in the day, I think, for Scion, like Spark Arva stackers. And this is how you can get some like insane amount of crit multi on Scion, pretty much. So the Lethal Pride, this gives us all these small nodes around here strength, right? As you can see, everything has strength. It also can give some of the big nodes even more strength. And the Transcendent Flesh, this gives you 7 crit multi per 10 strength on unallocated passives. So as you can see, we have tons of passives that are all getting strength from the Lethal Pride. So this one here is giving me 109% crit multi. This one over here is a little bit less at 93% crit multi. We can also get some pretty cool things on the Lethal Pride. So we can get Rage on Hit, which fixes a really big problem with the build, because before I would have to get the like Rage on Hit over here with the Thread of Hope, and that used a lot of points. So now we don't have to do that. We get our Rage on Hit from the Lethal Pride, as well as getting double damage. And so yeah, overall pretty big. Losing Aura Effect from the other Timeless Jewel, the Brutal Restraint, is kind of sad, but overall the setup is a lot more damage. It's literally like probably 30-40% more damage to use this setup on the crit build because of the amount of crit multi we're gaining. Okay, so this is the setup that I'm kind of using for running the Petrify map. Normally what I do is I actually don't have anything here, and I'm running an Impossible Escape also to Chaos Inoculation, and then I'm grabbing Whispers of Doom. So basically, normally what I'm doing is I'm running a setup like this. So I have Assassin's Mark, and then I also have Temp Chains, oh no, Connectivity. So I'm doing like a double curse, and the reason why I'm doing this is with Cirrus in the Feared, it's become very annoying. Because Cirrus, if you don't kill him fast enough, he's going to disappear. He's going to start doing his beam things and being really annoying, right? So basically, we need to kill Cirrus as soon as possible. And normally he'll do like this tunnel thing, where he shoots the corridor, and then you're stuck in the corridor and he's shooting fireballs at you. So that's usually like when you want to kill him, right? Because he's pretty easy target, and he always does that first usually. But during that phase, he has tons of damage reduction, it seems. He's really tanky in that phase. So basically, we want to kill him, ideally while he's in the corridor doing the fireball animation. If not, then after that, he'll kind of go invisible and then start doing the rotating beam thing. And then you have to kill him in that channel time. So basically, we want to kill Cirrus as soon as possible. So that's why I'm running a double curse setup. Alright, so let's go over the gear. Not really much has changed in the gear, so we're still using the swords, the rare sword setup, the 9-link sword, same helmet, same body armor. I'm probably going to change the body armor around to something else. We'll see what happens. Maybe in the next video we'll have a new body armor, but still using the old one for now. Also do have the ring, still the same ring, my other sword, other boots. Belt. Oh, I did get a new Nimbus. This one has a corruption, nice corruption, Grace Aura Effect corruption. Okay, so I got some new gloves. These are Warlock gloves with a Fractured Temple mod for increased crit against shocked enemies. Interesting choice here, because usually you would have fire res. So there's a lot of interesting things going on with the gloves that you don't really see on Armor Stacker gloves. Crit chance against shocked enemies versus like the fire res, right? So one problem with Armor Stacker, or I guess it's not really a problem, but you are always going to be low on lightning res, especially when you corrupt your Nimbus, right? Because you do get a little bit of cold res from the boots, but you're always going to be a little bit low on lightning. Basically, the way you solve that is you would be getting a lot of all resistance on your jewels and all that kind of stuff. So basically, it doesn't actually really matter if we get lightning res here, sort of, because we're going to need it anyways, and we're going to have to get it on clusters. So it allows you to get different jewels. Like you can use like a lot more int jewels if you want. If you like those, you want to get more energy shields. So at the end of the day, it's kind of the same in terms of DPS. It's a little bit more when the tincture is down. It's a little bit more damage because of the increased crit. Okay, so strength and int. So here is also another interesting choice. I think this is also pretty nice because a lot of times for armor stacker, you need to get strength on your small clusters because you just don't have enough strength. And getting a little bit here on the jewels actually does open up the strength suffix, so we can actually go for int jewels or we can go for all res jewels. Normally I would be running 2 for like T1 strength jewels, but now I actually don't need those at all. Oh, actually, one thing to note is swapping over to the lethal pride setup means you are going to lose a lot of dex from the brutal restraint. So you're going to have to get dex. So basically, I guess we'll cover the small cluster setup in a little bit, but I just got it on the clusters. Okay, so let's finish up the gear. So anyway, so that's the gloves. They're kind of nice. I actually like this setup quite a bit, especially the strength and int hybrid mod. I mean, veiled mod on the gloves. The flasks are pretty much the same, still the same tincture. The graphs are also the same as well. I actually am using the tool graft quite a lot more now, and especially now that I have more damage. I oftentimes find myself just replacing the lucky damage one with the tool graft because obviously don't really need that much damage, right? Our attacks are costing quite a lot of mana, and I found that having 155 mana when I take my ring off is sort of like the bare minimum you want. Otherwise, what happens is when you're attacking, it's gonna be you're gonna be running out of mana for like a split second, and it's gonna be a DPS loss. So you don't want that. If your attack is like blinking, right, like out of mana, blinking a little bit, then you're not really in a good spot. So anyways, I found that having 155 is the kind of like nice place, and so with the ring on, it's 180. So in order to do that, I've had to actually remove some of my tattoos on my int nodes and actually get a lot of int tattoos. So because int, gives you mana pretty much. So basically you want to get 180 mana with the ring on. And so it's about like 155, 154 with the ring off. And then it should be pretty nice to play. Okay, so that is the gearing. The skill gems are kind of the same. You can go look in the POB. One thing to note is with the impossible escape, I guess we can cover the jewels now. So I'm doing Impossible Escape to Whispers of Doom because this is the biggest single target damage increase you can get if you don't mind pushing the curse, which I don't. Because if I can push a button and kill Sirius like 40% faster, then I'm going to push it, pretty much. Especially in those 100% deli, 90 less damage maps, you want him dead as soon as possible. Anyways, so there's some other ones you can do. And also you can also just go for a rare jewel, and I think maybe even endgame you go for a synth rare jewel here or something else. But you can go to, there's a couple of places. So there is one here, Champion of the Cause, you can get with Arsenal of Vengeance. Pretty nice place here. If you have 2 extra points, you can get 12% aura effect here, so mana reservation efficiency. There's also a nice node here for sword. I mean, it's okay, it's decent. If you just want pure damage, then going for Cornered Prey is going to be really good. This is more damage than probably both of these 2 nodes combined, right? But you're going to have to get bleed, which you can get 2 bleed tattoos here, so that's going to be 10% chance to bleed if you tattoo this to bleed. Then you can run this, so that's going to be pretty good as well. There's some other ones you can probably look around for, go for, but those are the 3 that I probably would use. Okay, so that's kind of like the 3 areas I would recommend if you're using Impossible Escape. There's probably some other ones you can do, but yeah, those are the ones that kind of stood out to me as like pretty good picks. And yeah, you can also just go for a rare jewel, like a crit multi, a quad crit multi jewel, or a energy shield and crit multi jewel, or mana reservation crit multi jewel. There's a lot of cool things you can do with this one little spot here. Okay, so let's cover some of the jewels. The cluster setup I'm using now is pretty nice. I kind of like this. Basically, so 3 all attribute with fire res gives me enough attributes to cap my strength and dex. So I actually kind of like the setup. It's better than, I think it's better than running like the 2 or 3 strength gems, because the all attributes also give us int. So we get more energy shield and mana, so it's pretty nice. And then after that, you can kind of do whatever you want. If you want to go for full DPS, you can go for the fire res all res. Although I found that I like 3 of these. Like, so if you get 3 fire res all res ones, right? You get 3 of those, and then 3 int ones, like int fire res, then it's kind of nice because you get enough energy shield. Like, I don't want to be under 7k when I take my ring off, pretty much, right? And that's without this mastery, because it's usually on light radius for me. One thing I want to talk about is Zealot's Oath. So why do we even have Zealot's Oath even though we only have 27 ES regen? Or we don't even have ES regen. And the main thing is that you can see every now and then I'm gaining a burst of regen. And that's from the Guardian Ascendancy, basically. And this actually really does help because we are using Ghost Reaver. So that means we don't have any ES recharge. So it's a little bit weird. If you're like in degens or you're trying to kite like the Feared and that kind of stuff, and you're just not regenerating or recharging energy shield, the Guardian Ascendancy really does help in that sense. Also, right now I'm using a crit flask, like for that map, the Plague Ward City Square. I don't need ES regen, my leech is enough, but a lot of times I'll just run like a regen flask. And that gives me like 500 ES regen, right, or 400. So yeah, it's nice to keep. You could probably get rid of this, but I don't know. I didn't like not having any kind of regen at all. Anyway, so that's why that's there. It might be a little bit confusing. Why do you have this without any regen? And I think ideally in a really nice like endgame setup, I would actually have enough mana to reserve vitality as well somewhere. Okay, so that's the build, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. This version, the crit version, is turning out pretty good, I think. Actually really like this setup. And yeah, pretty excited to keep playing it. Although PoE 2 is around the corner, so probably have to go start playing that soon. There's some pretty cool things there I want to try out as well. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.